morning of January 13, 1968, several hundred inmates gathered inside the dining hall at Folsom State Prison in California. Word had spread quickly through the cell blocks. A concert was coming. Not a small prison talent show, a real concert. Then a man in black stepped to the microphone with a guitar. He looked out across the room, waited for the noise to settle, and said 4 simple words. "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash." The room erupted. For the men seated there that morning, this wasn't just another performer. Cash had been singing about prison life for years. Songs like Folsom Prison Blues told stories about regret, bad decisions, and the long shadow they could cast over a life. And the men listening that morning understood those stories better than most audiences ever could. By the mid-1960s, his career had entered a difficult stretch. Years of relentless touring had taken a toll. He had battled addiction. His records were not climbing the charts the way they once had. In the music business, some people quietly wondered if his best years were already behind him. But Johnny believed something different. Years earlier, he had written Folsom Prison Blues, and he had occasionally performed concerts inside prisons. Those audiences listened differently, more closely. They didn't treat the songs as background entertainment. They heard every word. So Johnny began thinking about something that had never been done this way before. If he was going to sing about prison life, maybe the most honest place to sing those songs was also the most honest place to record them. Columbia Records eventually agreed. A recording crew entered the prison ahead of the show and set up microphones inside the dining hall, while a mobile recording truck waited outside the walls. On that January morning in 1968, Johnny Cash and his band walked through the gates of Folsom Prison and took the stage. The concert that followed was loose, unpredictable, and electric. Cash joked with the inmates. The inmates shouted back. The laughter and cheers bounced off the concrete walls. The night before the concert, a prison chaplain had played Cash a tape of a song written by one of the inmates. The songwriter was a prisoner named Glen Sherley. The song was called Greystone Chapel. Cash liked it so much that he decided to perform it during the concert, even though the band had barely rehearsed it. And somewhere in that room, Glen Sherley sat listening as Johnny Cash sang his words back to him. Later that year, the album at Folsom Prison was released. The response was immediate. The record shot to number 1 on the country charts and crossed over to the pop charts, eventually selling more than 6 million copies worldwide. It spent more than 2 years on the Billboard album chart and helped launch a powerful comeback. Within a year, Johnny Cash was hosting a national television program, The Johnny Cash Show, bringing artists from across the musical world into American living rooms. That morning at Folsom Prison stands as one of the most remarkable live recordings ever made. Those men walked out of that concert having been reminded that there was a world beyond those walls. And for a few hours, that world had come to them.